click on this thing and see if I can get that little chat box going for my
I
Tiki
got the
Talk.
chat box going.
I have. Oh.
Is it working?
Come on.
Is it working?
It's working, but I'm waiting for my little thing to clickety click, and give me a chat box for TikTok.
Anyway, that's what I'm drinking. A little bit of Gibson's Finest, manufactured, bottled, and matured in Ontario, Canada.
Nice. Doing the Canadian thing. Attaboy.
Well, I had a good client bring it for me. So I was
really?
heading out to the lake. I had a client say, can you please take a look at something? And I was like, yeah, okay, come on over. And I said, I got like 15 minutes or something. And he brought me a bottle of whiskey.
You know
I'm
what?
okay with that.
There's nothing better than a bottle of whiskey. And what's interesting is my mother. Oh, I wish I could remember what it was. I didn't open it yet. But there's my chat bot. Hang on, pop out. That's what I want. So my birthday was, what day was my birthday? Wednesday, whatever the second was. And mom calls me up. She goes, hey, actually it was a kind of a sneaky, they were going to, hey, Polar Bear, take me out for dinner. So we went up to Albert's.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you know the flaming cheese?
It's flaming cheese?
I forget what it's called, Sakanaki or something like that. But they put this cheese on it's a Greek cheese. They put it on this iron, and then they pour brandy on it and set it on fire. And it is
great.
So good.
Is there anything better than cheese lit on fire with alcohol?
Nothing I can think of. I mean, the reality is, it's funny. Is it funny how cheese is considered a healthy snack unless you melt it on something?
Well, that is kind of funny, actually. Now that you think about it,
it's fine. But if you're dipping shit in it, it's bad.
Then it's not so good. Or it's also determination of how classy you are, right?
Drinking your food is different than eating your food. You're correct.
If you're dipping your food like into a cheese fondue, that's classy. But if you're eating with a toothpick stuck into it, that's trashy, right?
Well, it's trashy. I still say that's classy with the toothpick. I would say my birthday was good. I ate like a pig, or svinia, as we'd say in Ukrainian. I had the guilty. Have you ever been up there?
Yep.
Okay, when you say I'll take the princess cut because
it'd be realistic about it, right?
It's 14 ounces of prime rib, and she goes, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
She goes, "You mean the queen, right?" I'm like, "Well, sure as hell I'm not taking the 20-ounce king." But I ate that thing like I had a problem. Then I had the meat sweats immediately. But my mother gave me a bottle of bourbon, and this thing was in like a wood crate. And she said that your dad bought this years ago. It was 40 years old when he bought it.
Oh.
Yeah. And she goes, well, this is your last birthday in your 40s, so here you go. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
That is super cool. I don't think I'm going to crack it for a while, but it's
you should wait till you're 80 or something then, right?
Dude, do you think I'm going to make the 80? Come on.
I don't know. The way the world's going, I don't know if any of us will make it to 80.
Probably not. It depends on what kind of habits we decide, or what kind of addictions we decide to adopt. Speaking of addictions, and this is funny because I was talking to Kelsey about this. The only time she sees me drink is on the show.
Yeah.
And sometimes at the camper, but that's it.
That's fair. Yeah.
So to be right up there with summertime, do you like creamsicles? Who doesn't?
I sure do. Who doesn't like a creamsicle? Oh, Smirnoff Creamsicle Blast. I've never seen that one.
I never did either. And I think they might think that I have a problem at the liquor store because every Friday I go in and buy something weird. So my collection is growing, and I have like 2 drinks during the show, and that's the end.
I mean, that's great because that means you're going to have one hell of a party.
I will.
When you're 50.
So let's just see what this is. It's clear. So, I mean.
That's weird. You'd expect it to be orange or something.
How do you make something that does not look creamy, taste creamy, and orange? Like it tastes like an alcoholic creamsicle, but it's really good. Like I could do this. I could do this.
Guy from the States, he has 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes. He's a world champion.
Reminds me of a girl I knew in high school.
I'm just gonna say isn't 1,000 of the day the record?
Can you imagine? Like, how do you tell those stories? Like, how do you tell that story? And do you tell that story?
Nowadays, you can see it on TV.
It's
You just
just
go to YouTube and you type it in there, and there you go, right?
God bless her. God bless her, and whatever wheelchair company was sponsoring her after this whole shenanigan thing happened.
Yeah, or plastic surgery, one of the two, right?
Something. He won 17 times.
You just can't just win once. You got to prove a point. No one's taking it away from me, right?
I don't know what I've ever eaten in large amounts. Wings. I've done 6 pounds of wings in one go.
You know, we didn't do the wings again. They didn't have that contest again this year. Or
They're
did
not
they?
doing the food truck wars this year.
Oh, right.
I would
Okay.
do it.
Yeah.
There was part of me that during the strongman, for people that didn't want to get athletic and do the strongman, I was
Right.
going to have some sort of an eating contest, and I thought a pierogi eating contest would be cheap and hilarious.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do sometime? I'll
What?
come over to your place. We'll set the camera, so we'll just do
Sure.
like a hot sauce tasting contest.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
could
a
do
fun
that.
time.
I've got some ghost pepper that'll make you hate me today and tomorrow.
Oh, I love that stuff. That's good stuff, man.
You people love that hot stuff, don't you?
Have you tried those? Was that those chips? Those Packy chips with the ghost pepper?
What did you say?
Packy chips? Paqui. Yes, you heard me right.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I was thinking Indian cuisine, but okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Have you tried those?
I have one still in the box that I've been scared to try.
Oh, you have
The
one of
chip
those
challenge.
ones.
I have one of those ones.
They have a scaled down version, just like a regular one that you just go buy a whole bag and you can eat the whole bag of them. They're great.
But how are you tomorrow? Can you wipe, or you just have to use crushed ice?
Oh God,
Just
it's
dab
the
it with
first
wet
time I
cloth.
did it. The first time I ate them, it was like I ate a bag of them. I was like, I was just like, these are really good. And the next day, it was just, the gut rot they had was just horrible.
I'll take the gut rot over the razor blade dump you're gonna take.
Well, that was phase 2.
Yeah,
That was the warning.
I watched a documentary, and it's talking about addictions. And these guys, oh, what the hell was it called? Hot Ones or something like that. But it was about these people that are trying to grow the world's hottest peppers.
Yeah.
Like they're breeding them, and they guard those seeds with their lives.
Yeah.
And these people that eat these, they go on these pepper eating contests. Now there's a woman that wins it consistently.
It's a massive endorphin high for these people.
That's the thing. There's this high that happens because your body must go into a state of shock.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And then,
well, it's a little bit like your body craves inflammatory processes to a certain extent, right? Inflammation, it craves it.
Is that why we all eat dairy?
Partially, I guess. I mean, really, if you look at it, like what's inflammation? It's kind of a rampant metabolism, right, in your system too, right?
Thanks, Pebbles. Thanks, Pebbles. The cream skull vodka isn't helping. Why is it? Why do we crave the things that hurt us, and we snub our nose at the things that are good for us?
I actually asked ChatGPT because I was curious what it would say, and a lot of it was because it's the familiarity of it feels safe. That the dopamine hit is sometimes a liar because of familiarity and everything. There's emotional needs go unmet. We often confuse intensity with meaning, right? It's subconsciously we're sabotaging ourselves. We can look at kind of on different archetypes that are into our system. We fear change more than pain, and so there's all these cool reasons why. And it says every craving is a message, not about what you want, but about what you need, right?
So what are we missing? Actually, we're gonna go back and forth here. Polar Bear had he's talking about the Pepper Palace. Have you ever been there in Winnipeg?
No.
They have the hottest stuff there. Like they have I bought some ghost pepper pickles there once.
Oh, that'd be horrible. And
no. They're pickles. They're just cucumber pickles.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, these things,
it's a spicy meatball.
It's very spicy and it's nice. But I bought these things and I'm chowing them down. And you're right, you have one, it hurts. And then you just do it again and again and again. And you're riding that wave. And I'm sure it's like any other addiction, but the dopamine hit that you get from eating hot stuff, is it healthy? Is it a bad addiction? Is that a bad addiction?
It's all these really. So I remember years ago, I had a drink and the drink was horrible. So I took a sip of it. I was like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
And the person next to me goes, what? This drink. Took another sip. Oh, it's disgusting. And he said, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, try it. So I passed it over to them. They tried. They're like, oh, God, you're right. That's gross. The next friend looks at it, goes, really? Let me try that. They try it. Oh, you're right. That's gross. So what is that going on there, right?
Well, let's look at coffee as an example. Okay.
Okay.
Whoever, when you first tried coffee, there was nothing good about it. Like coffee
Mm,
didn't taste good. When you first tried black coffee,
no,
was it
no.
good?
Well, okay. So what was the first black coffee that you really drank? You know, and
Nescafe instant.
okay, because the first real black coffee that I was drinking like regularly was Humpty's, and it was arguably coffee.
It was
Okay,
black. It was black bean juice that made
it
you.
was more like a light tea more than anything, right?
Oh, it was
It
weak.
was so weak, right? And I remember getting it so many times because it came in glass mugs, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "Are you sure that's not like red rose tea?"
Just say, listen
Because it
here.
was so cheap.
Did you pull the Chinese card? Say, listen, I know my teas.
Yeah, this ain't tea.
This ain't tea.
Yeah.
This is the worst tea I've ever had. No, but I think that coffee is a great example of something that does not taste good the first time you try it. It's bitter,
Yep. Yep.
but damn, it makes you okay with the day. Like it
Yep.
kind of makes you want to live.
Well, I mean, then you can talk about like that as like an addictive quality, and people talk about how they're addicted to coffee and they're addicted to caffeine and all these things, and they're really not. They're really addicted to like the feelings, the memories, and sensations. Because let's get serious, nobody has ever held up a Starbucks because it needed a hit.
No,
You know,
no.
like, and that's a true addiction there, right?
Well, that's your sugar rush, though, right? Like this is why
Yep.
McDonald's fries are most popular with kids because they brine them in sugar and
Yes,
then they
and
cook
they
them.
are the best. They are the best fries ever.
Are they the best fries?
They are the best fries ever.
Mm. See, here's the thing. I grew up in Dauphin. We had KFC and A&W.
Right.
So I didn't know anything about McDonald's until I moved here when I was 12. And I always liked, actually, my favorite fries were Chicken Delight, the crinkle cut
Okay.
fries with the
Yep.
instant gravy.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
the nostalgia of it.
That's like a prairie food there. Like every small town had a little chicken place there.
Absolutely. And probably ran by your cousins of yours, actually, because there's
Oh,
lots
not
of
then. That was way too soon. That was way before then they came over.
before the boats came by.
Yeah, it was way too soon. The boat hadn't come in yet.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think we have this, like, is coffee an addiction? Yes, it is. It is the dopamine hit, but you're sure not going to get that from an apple.
No. But, you know, yeah, sure, like caffeine and everything is an addiction to a certain extent. But, like, caffeine has a half life of like 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it's not very long. So when people are like saying, "Oh, you know, I'm coming down my coffee or whatever," it's like, okay, sure, maybe you're exaggerating a little bit, but like the coffee comes in and out of your system pretty quick too.
See, and I wonder if I have just a high tolerance to caffeine because I'll drink, like, I'll make a pot, I'll have a cup in the morning. Kelsey will take a travel mug to work, and then I will finish that pot.
Yeah,
And I could drink, if there was cold coffee in the pot right now, I'd probably drink it, and I'd still go to sleep like a baby. Like
you're
it
probably
does.
just a non-responder.
That's what my
Like
wife says.
a lot of people don't really respond to it. Like, do you remember caffeine pills?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I used to pop those things like they were like Tic Tacs going into the gym with ephedrine. And the ephedrine was a wonderful rush, but caffeine never hit me. Caffeine pills never did a thing for me.
I'll tell you what's. I think I mentioned this before. Smelling salts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that at the wrong time during the wrong kind of workout.
Yeah,
Pebbles.
you don't want to put anything up your nose. In all honesty,
No, Vicks. I like Vicks. That's Vicks always does it
yeah,
for
that's
when I
fair.
was old. Pebbles gave up coffee. Oh my god! I think I would be. My problem is, in order for this human to interact with other humans, this human needs a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this human is very annoying to other humans surrounding me.
That's fair. You know, years and years ago, I actually went off of coffee. Okay.
Is that when we weren't
Because
talking? It would sound like when we were talking.
yeah, probably no. It was
Makes
actually
sense.
it was. I was actually still at the old clinic beside your place
Mhm.
there. Okay. And I kind of had the feeling that I needed to go off coffee. And the biggest reason why I wasn't responding anything, like I would drink coffee, nothing would happen. Okay, I was drinking it all the time,
Right.
and more importantly, my cologne that I was wearing smelled different. So my body chemistry was actually changed.
It wouldn't be much different than having a. That would make sense. It'd make no difference. It'd be kind of like nicotine in your system. It's gonna make
Yeah,
you smell a bit different.
it smelled
You
different.
didn't
So
like
I
the feeling
stopped.
coming out of
I
your
went
body.
on a cleanse. Like when I did a coffee reboot, like a cleanse.
Yeah.
So I like to the point that I actually wrote down the whole thing. I gave it to clients for a long time of how to get coffee out of your system over a few weeks, so that when you start using it again, you get the full maximal effect.
I think we become numb to the things that we get addicted to. It's no different than I've had guys. Trust me, I've had people in my chair that they drank all day,
Yeah,
but were
yeah,
never drunk.
yeah.
Like there's that.
Yeah, the functional alcoholics. That's not good.
Talking about caffeine for a second there. You ever look at the memes that I put up on Fridays?
Yep.
You know, it's been like 14 years. I've been doing that every Friday, like an idiot. It's a
Really?
stupid hobby. Yeah.
Where do you find these?
I farm them for all of you guys to look at the stuff that I
curate is the
I
better
curate
word.
them while everybody's working. But no, there was one that said someone referred to energy drinks as fridge cigarettes, and I'll never think of them as anything different again. 100%.
There you go. Yes. No,
Fridge cigarettes.
That's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it scratches that itch, man.
Yeah. Energy drinks are the fastest growing market for canned beverages in North America.
I wonder what that's going to do to us eventually, because that's a ton of caffeine. And actually here it's more regulated. Yep. I bought Bangs in the States.
Yep. Yeah, those will put some hair in your teeth, won't they?
Oh, it hits you in the face, goes down to your toes, and right back up to your head again.
Yep. No, that was our moment of shame at one point when we went down to Vegas and we needed some clandestine way to walk around with vodka, because you can walk around with vodka, but you can't carry a 2.6 around with you.
That's ridiculous.
You know, so I mean, of course, yeah. So we just got Monsters, did a couple shots of Monsters and filled it all up, and it worked fantastic.
Well, like Pebble's talking about alcohol, like I can go without drinking. The reality is, my problem is I don't like polluting myself. So if I drink, I feel like I've wasted my week of workouts. I have a weird drink on the show because it's sort of become a thing that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, it's true. Why make yourself worse?
I think that people have to recognize that anything in moderation is fine.
Yeah.
Except heroin. I don't think that one's good in moderation.
Or huffing, maybe too, right? You know, that methamphetamines would be another one.
Speaking about huffing, you know what one of my favorite smells was as a kid?
Gas?
My grandfather's 2-stroke boat motor.
Yeah.
And the smell of that, for some reason, that blue smoke, I remember that whenever I see an old fishing boat, like I really, not that I want to sniff it.
No.
But when you talk about the smell of gas, when you fill your gas tank in the winter, it smells much better than when you fill your gas tank in the summer. And I don't know why.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I've got different, like my parents had an old camper, and I always remember there was a center console, and you know, you don't really, sometimes you put your feet on it and sometimes you couldn't because it was too hot. He never understood why as a kid. So you realized that the engine was just on the other side of that thin piece of plastic that was covering.
Oh, they called it a doghouse.
Did they? They had a name for it. Okay.
Yeah, it's called doghouse, and the motor is sitting between the passenger and the driver.
Between the passengers, yeah.
Yeah, so if you blow a rod, it's going through your neighbor.
Yeah, right. But it always had a very familiar smell because, and I didn't know what it was. It was like, well, engine, gasoline, probably a little bit coolant or something.
Burning oil, perhaps a propane leak that was making you sleep a little bit better.
Actually, now that I think of it, it was probably the lead gas.
Lead gas was good for the motors. Like lead gas was actually better for
the motors.
Yeah,
for the motors at least.
It's good for the engine.
Not for the boomers, that's for sure. Right?
I think at the lake you really need to get a bottle of this stuff. It's quite tasty.
I've got some vanilla vodka.
Okay. That is also very good.
It is good. I thought that was the weirdest thing in the world because I was like, well, it probably have a little hint of vanilla, and it's strong. It's almost syrupy.
They make a lot. This isn't syrupy. Like they make a lot of flavored everythings. My problem is if it's full of sugar, I don't want to drink it. And even when I was at the LC, she goes, "Ooh, you know, we have a cooler like this." I'm like, "I'm sure you do," and I'm sure it would spike my insulin like crazy. I don't really want that.
Sounds like diabetes in the can.
You know what was diabetes in a bottle? That butter tart stuff that I bought.
Yeah, no shit.
Kelsey was heading off to the camper. I said, "Here, you want to take this and just do something with it? Like take it to the camper and use it in your coffee. I don't care, but I'm not going to drink it." But
those things would be great for like. What was it? 2 Christmases ago, I had the bright idea to make martinis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it was a creme brulee martini, which is why I got the vodka, the vanilla. Yeah, torch it and everything, and put a little bit of cream in it, and I got chocolate liqueur and then torch the top. Yep. It was actually pretty cool. It was neat. It wasn't as pretty as it was on the recipe, but it was pretty cool.
Nothing ever looks as good as it does on Pinterest because you're not doing it 87 times to get the right picture. And Pebbles, I'm going to tell you something messed up about my. You've seen this. People make a weird drink and you're like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? Captain Morgan spiced rum and eggnog. Now, yes, that is a good drink at Christmas time. However, at my in-laws' place, they do that and put orange juice in it, which in my brain, I'm thinking that's got to curdle like no one's business because
Yeah,
it's milk.
you would think it would.
They drink it. They're like, "Oh, this is great." I'm like, "God
You're
damn,
picking it out
why?"
of your teeth afterwards, though,
Yeah, it's a
right?
lot of pulp, and oh no, no pulp. They don't want
No, I mean the creaming from the fermenting and the curdling.
pulp. Okay, if you're that picky about,
You know, this must be your line here that we're losing it on because I've got like solid bars here.
I've got solid everything here,
Huh.
which is odd. Maybe I'm just talking too fast. But
I don't know.
no, I think that when we talk about good addictions and bad addictions, like it would be fair to say that you've got a learning addiction, which is not terrible.
Well, it can be. It definitely can be. Okay. So there are massive problems with that because you can very quickly learn. You can very quickly move into a procrastination. Perfectionism and turn this thing into procrastination, and that's kind of one of the biggest things. And you hear that from people a lot. Where they finish their first degree and they go, no, I've got to go back to school. I've got to get another degree. I need to learn more. And it's like, no, you need to go actually get some implementation into your lifestyle. No, I'll get one more degree and then I'll be good. And then they're going for another degree and then another one because they call themselves, well, I just love to learn. I'm a perpetual student, but it's really just procrastination because of fear of the real world. They don't want to grow up, right?
Yeah, you become a professional student and you never actually go out and work until you're 40.
Right.
And by then, because I'll tell you what, in your 40s, you're beyond your prime, right?
Yep. Good luck. No one's hiring you now because you have, guess what? Too much experience and you cost too much and you're old.
However, sometimes there is a chance that being older and having some life experience actually means something.
Well, show me one instance where that's actually a benefit where you can actually say that sort of thing, though.
I'm going through something right now that I believe that's 100% my life experience is getting me there. I mean, my sheer determination's there too, but something we're 95% there, man. 95% there, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah,
when is the reveal behind all of this?
It would be when it's nothing until it's something, and once it's something, then I'll be able to say what the something is.
That's
you know
fair.
what it is. Yeah,
that's fair.
But
that's fair.
I think that it'd be fair to say that I have a addiction to the gym, in that I feel really off if I don't go.
Right.
However, I was also a 309 bucket of butter at one time.
So is it fear of going back to the way you were?
I think that's what it is. I think that if you make any kind of strides forward, you really don't want to slip backwards. And I feel like this last weekend when I was at the camper for 3 days, like normally I would I have kettlebells and stuff there, and I just had I had no gas in the tank, man. I think I had so much going on this last few weeks. My brain said stop, and my body said no. So
that's fair.
Listen to it.
But sometimes that's just how it is. Like you just kind of get broken down. But also, when it comes to exercise, a lot of people, it's self-image and how they see themselves, which is where the dangerous track comes. Where they feel they're too fat or too skinny or whatever it might be, and that's kind of turns into the drive and focus to change their appearances.
And I think that's part of it. I mean, the reality is, I feel like I'm just no longer a fat guy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to stay just not a fat guy. So, do I think that I think that other people think that I'm bigger than I am. That I think like my perception of me is not big. My perception of me is just I'm not soft anymore.
Right. Well, how much do you weigh now?
I think I'm a 232 or something like that.
Okay. Well, but that's pretty big. For most guys, you wouldn't want to be running into someone like that in the back alley, right?
No, but I mean, I was a soft 309. So really? To get to a solid 240 or 232 is, I'm smaller than I was, but I got a little more beef on my bones.
What you need is a fat suit to take you back up to that level so you can see what it was like back then.
I could just look at old pictures and just be embarrassed for myself.
Or, you could put like 100 pounds on your back and go for a run.
God, could you imagine? Be popping my knees.
Take a kid up and just throw over your shoulders and go around for an hour or two.
Which one? I think Gage is at $120, I think.
So some of the other reasons why people work out is because of control issues, though, eh?
I would say there's some truth to that, because the only time of the day that I have complete control over what I'm doing is when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
It's the only time.
Yeah. because everything else can be filling out the needs that other people place upon you.
Right, but that's the responsibilities of life, right? And I think there's very few of us, whether it is sitting down and reading or listening to music or whatever it is that becomes your obsession or your addiction. It's not bad if it's bringing you a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
And I think that I go down a rabbit hole sometimes. Like I got into vinyl and I was like buying everything, like buying vinyl. So that becomes a bit of an obsession, but I'm trying to get all the stuff that I had when I was younger and enjoying it.
Yep.
And I think that was that an obsession? It was a bit of a hobby, I'd say.
Sometimes it's fun. It's like, how much can you get, right? Like, can you complete the full set of everything that you have or you were looking for at one point in time, right?
And there's one album that I haven't bought yet that I really want to buy, but I just can't justify spending that on a record. And it's still the Lost Boys soundtrack.
What is it?
The Lost Boys CD. The Lost Boys soundtrack on vinyl. But I'm like, do I really? I'd rather find it at a record sale and buy it for $20 than pay 40 or 60 or 80.
That's nice. It's the hunt,
that might
which
be
is
it.
amazing.
There's the dopamine hit.
You can go onto eBay. So, like, I remember reading a theory about talking about blue light. Okay, like remember those blue blocker lights were really popular for a while.
Yeah,
because that light activated a portion in your brain. Well, the theory is that light activates the portion in your brain that encourages you to keep looking for something. Okay, so since we were hunter or gatherers during the daytime, blue light comes in and we were looking for things all the time. Right?
Makes sense. Makes
right?
sense. I mean,
absolutely, it makes sense.
Makes you feel good. Hey,
and that's why this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Silky Boy on you might like this, Jayon. Silky Boy on TikTok has got 100.
I can't see that one.
He has 100 Atari games for sale. Find him on TikTok.
You know what? Nowadays you can spend on $23 and you can get 60,000 games in your hand or whatever, right?
I can subscribe to Apple Music and have all this music on vinyl.
Yeah.
Right, that
sometimes it's just what you want. Yeah.
I want to sit there and put a record on, listen to it, chill out, and then get up and have to flip it after so long. Yep. Yeah, Pebbles, it's true. 80 pounds is a lot of weight.
So, I mean, you can find the Lost Boys vinyl soundtrack here for $45 on eBay.
I know, but I can't. I could, but I can't.
The whole point is the seeking of it, right? Going into some dumpy little secondhand LP store and going, holy shit, this is it. I've been looking for this. It's a holy grail.
I've got it.
It can't be too easy. Otherwise, there's no thrill in the hunt.
Right. And and if somebody scratched it, that song is going to scratch at that spot forever. And it jumped for somebody for years before I got it. So it might be just the fact that I like I don't know what the word is. It's
the individuality that you made that damage yourself, right?
Nothing has to be perfect. I don't need perfect. I kind of want that. I want to find it. I don't want to just have it.
That's the thing, it's like I did that with some old books I used to read when I was young, and for a while I was on eBay and I was just downloading them. Like that was early 2000s, back when eBay was still kind of cool. And then it was like, well, this is just kind of taking the excitement and the thrill out of it. Then I started going into used bookstores and looking around, and then that was where it was fun, right? That was the excitement.
Well, and the thing is with books, like I still like a paper book. Kelsey reads a Kindle like crazy. And to me, that's not a book. It feels like scrolling. I know it's a book.
Yeah.
It's kind of a book. But I still like to have a physical book that I can flip through, stick a bookmark in, come back to it, and keep going to it. And I
happen to have one.
Yep.
But to be fair, I also have books.
Of course you do. Of course you do. And I read dark stuff, and a lot of I read the biography of Wes Craven that I got for my birthday last year, and I loved it.
Okay.
I read I'm reading that One Child at a Time. It's about
I don't know that
online predators, and it is terrifying, man. Terrifying. But that's what I read, like true crime and biographies. I can't read fiction. And Kelsey can read fiction like crazy. If I want fiction, I'll watch a movie.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like I'd rather watch a movie than read about something that didn't exist. Like my imagination just goes a little nuts, and I just can't get into it.
I listen to a lot of Audible because how many times of the day are you doing something that's just mundane that you don't really care about, cutting the grass, doing the dishes, or whatever? And those are the times I throw in an audiobook and I just enjoy a book while I'm doing it.
I listen to podcasts while I work out. I don't listen to music.
Yep, podcasts are the only thing I'll listen to at the gym. even when I'm like doing heavy or just something grueling,
Yeah.
it's still something. You know, when you're doing pull-ups or something, there's nothing quite like Jordan Peterson telling you you're not worthy and you're weak.
It's fantastic. You know, the more somebody can tell me that I'm shitty, it makes me want
Yeah,
to be better.
I mean that's it. I'll prove you wrong. I'll show you what I'll show you what shitty is. It's going to
I
be you, right?
I believe that I'm 100% fueled by spite. I think I've said this before. Like, you tell me that I can't do something, I will make sure you've got a front row seat to make it
Yep.
happen.
That should be your book. You know, fueled by spite.
Fueled by spite. Actually,
Yeah.
I've got I own the domain of live spitefully. I'm gonna try to do
you
something
know,
with that.
I get that. I totally understand what you mean because like I actually did this as an exercise. Wrote down all the things that people said. You know, you can't do that. You're going to fail or whatever it is, right? And I wrote down all the things and all the people who said these things to me
Yeah,
because I was
yeah,
curious. Because you tell yourself, you know, like everyone's out to get you or whatever the story is, and when you start looking at it, you start realizing that actually fewer people said that. It's just people that were more meaningful to you.
I love taking, like, I'll take criticism all day long. If you feel like I'm doing something incorrectly, please correct me. Um, but it has to come from a place of you're trying to help me, not just trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
And that happens
Well,
sometimes too.
I mean, there's the
Polar,
big thing. Guys really respond well to guys who have walked the walk before they start talking the talk.
right? So, like, Polar Bear, he's saying he's doing a 1,500 calorie diet. Jesus, what are you eating? Celery?
Jesus, that's a pretty low diet.
Yeah. So, what do you weigh? You're 254,
That's
and you
pretty
want to go
low.
down to 180.
What's your
Okay.
protein at?
Yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, if you're doing 1 gram per pound of protein times 4, you're getting almost 1,000 calories just in pure protein. So you're going to fall flat on your fat intake easily. And if you're not doing keto or something like, I'd want to be looking at your macros there, Polar Bear.
Yeah. Because if you go down, your body will start eating itself, right? It's going to look for something, and you're going to start losing muscle mass and all that stuff. I'm not a nutritionist by any stretch of the imagination. I have been a personal trainer, but we didn't prescribe diet. But I can tell you what worked for me.
So I can tell you sheer numbers, and I'm thinking that by sheer mathematical perspective, that looks a little bit low.
I take in a lot more
details.
calories than that. But again, not to poo-poo what you're doing. I think if you can stick to it. But might feel a little weak,
Lightheaded,
after.
yeah.
So, like, I would say this: no one, and I mean, Joe Rogan said this, and you know when you have these little quotes that just stick in your head, and they're talking about eating healthy and people avoid this and that. He said nobody's ever gotten fat eating fruit.
No.
Eat fruit.
No.
Go ahead.
That's the thing with fruit. Fruit has a natural shut-off mechanism. It's called fiber.
Yes. Yeah. So if their fiber is high, then the sugar, it's not as bad, right? Like a Twizzler is a whole lot worse for you than an apple, clearly.
This was the equivalency that I had. I used to tell clients, you know, remember those cherry strudels you can get over at Superstore or any bakery? They're like 400 calories per, right? How many of those suckers could you shut down your mouth in 15 minutes? 3, 4, easy.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Could you eat 1,200 calories of blueberries? Like, I'd pay someone just to watch that because it would be hard.
It would take a while. You'd end up. That's a lot of blueberries.
That's a lot of blueberries.
It is. So I mean, you can fill your guts with food that has. Yeah, you could fill yourself up. Just don't do it with a pizza pop, right?
That's the thing, or alcohol for that matter. But I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a little taste.
Well, the thing is with alcohol, it's one of those, like, is it a it's not good for you. There's nothing good about it.
There's no benefits outside social mechanisms that alcohol provides any benefit.
Geez, a whole can of salmon. Damn, I wish I could eat fish. I'm allergic.
Yeah.
And
my wife used to make this dish with canned salmon. It was called salmon loaf. Now she's glaring at me not to bring that one up. So
was it good? Hey, Canadian Ape, we got Silky Boy, Canadian Ape.
Was it good? Was it good, Angela? Yeah.
Was it good? I made a Dorito casserole years ago for the kids, and it sucked. And they bring that up today. They bring up the
Dorito casserole.
Yeah. So yeah. Hang on. It had meat. It had this, and it was supposed to have a crushed Dorito crust on the top of this thing.
Yeah.
It did not work. It was terrible. And to prove that it wasn't that bad, I ate it. But it wasn't. Right. It was terrible. And every time I bring up a food that they don't want to eat, they always say, "Oh, we'll have anything but Dorito casserole." And it's been 5 years since I made this thing. Yeah, I'm sure there's a
And
recipe
they still
somewhere.
bring it up, eh?
Yeah, hey, just not Dorito casserole, Dad. I'm like, thanks, you're not helping me.
Well, it's like my kids. They hate it when I make soup or anything that's remarkably like soup or stew or anything.
I love
Well,
soup.
if you're gonna go for ice cream, just take them. I'll meet you down there in a bit.
We're gonna cut it short tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, give her 20 minutes. We'll talk about some of these ridiculous things that we do that
Yeah.
sound
20, 15,
insane.
20
But we do.
minutes. We good.
Yeah, we'll be the short one, guys.
If they close at 9, then go. Take them. I'll meet you down there.
Oh, do you have to go? Do you have to go?
No, they're going for ice cream. I'll meet them down there in a bit.
Okay. Yeah, Pebble said one or two people say that she'd never graduate and she graduated with honors. Like, why do people do that? Why do people want to piss on people's parades?
Oh, I got a good answer for that one.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, like most people are living as the main character in their stories, right? You're the main character in your story.
Sure.
How badly do you want some secondary character catching all the glory in your story, in your movie? Nobody wants that.
Here's the thing, though. I think you and I are in a different mindset. I will applaud people who are successful. I love to see it happen. I really do. I don't know. I think that comes to ego. That comes to ego. Like, do I need to be better than anybody else? God, no. Yeah. I'm good.
People tend to have their preconceived notions of what you are going to accomplish in your life based on their story. Okay, here's the best example. Remember the Mandalorian TV series, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember then Boba Fett came out, right?
Yeah.
And partway through Boba Fett, Mandalorian jumped in.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. It suddenly got better.
People were like, what the hell's going on there? Whose show is this, right? There you go.
And I don't have a problem being a mediocre joker. I'm cool with that. Like, I don't need to stand up in a crowd. Oh, my God. Did I hear what happened to Jamie from Assiniboine Collision? No, I didn't, Silky Boy. Sounds like it's bad, though. Whenever someone says stuff like that in chat, it can't be good.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, like, we have things that hit us with a rush. We do it because it makes us feel different or good. Like, I take a cold shower 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Ice cold shower. And it doesn't feel good, but for some reason I like it. It's dumb.
It's a
Why
great
do I do
dopamine reset. You know, it just shuts down and reboots everything. They found that that's a great mild way to help with, you know, very low cases of depression, because it's a system interrupt in the brain and kind of cuts that depressive circuit.
And that's where I think people that are runners, like marathon runners, like, that is torture. But at some point in time, they say they hit a wall.
Yeah, the runner's high is right there, right?
Yeah, once they hit that wall, they power through it, and suddenly it's like they're gone.
Yeah,
that's where I would probably throw up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, how long is a marathon? Like 23 miles?
Long enough that you should just drive, really.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, like, it's called a marathon because that was the Battle of Marathon in Greek mythology. They sent a messenger after they won. I actually looked at this one. They sent a messenger from the battle to inform the Senate that they were victorious. So the messenger ran the whole distance, got up to the Senate, delivered the news, and died.
Yeah.
So if you survive a marathon, you're doing pretty good. And you do it for fun.
And people who do it for fun now, it's like the running of the bulls.
They pay for it. They pay for it.
They pay to go in it. Like, what the hell? But again, why do we judge? Why do we judge when somebody has some crazy thing that they do? Like parkour people, I don't get that at all.
No.
There's an addiction.
There's been a few that didn't make it.
There's a lot that don't make it because it's insane.
They didn't quite catch the edge when they jumped.
Well, that's the thing. You better be good at distances or keep your glasses on if you need them.
Yeah.
Because
you
ain't going to make it. Yeah. Oh, God. Geez. Yeah, Pebbles, you know what? Pebbles, you really got to let people just be miserable themselves instead of shitting on you, because you graduate with honors. You did something that I tell you what, you want to see someone who's, hey, kid, you know what? You want to see.
They saw you too late.
Yeah. You want to meet someone who's full of self-doubt? You're looking at him. Like, I want to get things done.
Do you mean you, or just look in a mirror?
Me. Like, the reality is, do I think that my goal was this? Did I think I was going to get even close to this? Not once. It's still surreal that this could be happening.
Yeah, but then I'm not going to diminish that. But now we look at some like what was the caliber of some of the other contenders?
They were all doing their best. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they showed up to do their best.
But here's the other thing. You see someone who's double your age do it.
Yeah,
That'd be enough of a boot in the ass. Say, okay,
you know that's the thing. You know, like some of these people, like they're like, what is the metric for healthy nowadays?
there's a good question because if you were to go to the doctor, like I have to go in and get a full body,
Yeah,
full physical on Monday or Tuesday.
turn and cough, right?
If I'm lucky, he'll light a candle.
Yeah.
But would I be considered healthy? I'd be considered probably obese for my height and my weight.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not. So what's healthy these days? Like they were going by body fat percentage.
Yeah.
Which does that say everything? What's a healthy diet? 200 calories, 2,000 calories a day? Jay?
Well, that really depends on a few things. Number one is your current weight, your lean body mass, you know, your basal metabolic rate, and also like how much you weigh right now currently. How much lean body mass do you have? You know, like a person who's 40% body fat is going to have a different caloric nutrient setup than the person who's half that.
Well, and your body is used to burning off so much energy just to move that body around, right? So you want to take in less calories than you're burning. That's kind of the metric that you want. So
calories in, calories out.
Right. So it's like a diesel truck.
Yeah.
Why is it burning diesel? It's a rich fuel because it's pulling a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Where a a little truck, it doesn't need as much fuel. It doesn't need the same kind of fuel, the same kind of power. So until you get down in your weight, you're gonna have to take on some calories just so you feel normal, but take down less. Like what I used to do is Pebbles. What I used to do when I train people is because I wasn't technically allowed to prescribe diet. I would just tell people to write it down. I said, I don't care what you eat, write it down. I want to see everything you're eating. And what happens is, if you're saying that I'm hitting Tim Hortons and I'm hitting McDonald's and I'm eating this, and you're writing it all down, I said, I don't care what you're putting in your system, just tell me what it is. They'd write it down, and then suddenly that list would get shorter. Their trips to McDonald's got less because you see it and you're like, wait a minute, I went there 5 times. You don't, okay, I'll go 4. Then you go 3. Then you go 2. And that'll automatically bring those bad calories down because you're taking accountability for what you're eating.
Guilt and shame are powerful motivators.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. If I ever want to motivate myself, I'll just get myself feeling really shitty about myself and I'll bang it out.
Everyone nutritionally when it comes down to it is it's like have lots of vegetables but also a lot of protein in your system too.
Right.
So if you're a 200-pound person, you know, I do tell everyone, you know, look at 200 grams of protein as a minimum, 50 grams of fat as a minimum, and fill in the spaces with everything else. And 200 grams of protein is pretty hard to conceptualize without actually breaking it down. And, you know, like you have to take about 15-20 minutes at the very start of your diet plan and just see how much, you know, 8 ounces of chicken, 8 ounces of beef, 8 ounces of pork is, you know, how much 6 eggs is, and just sort of learn to eyeball things so that you can really move forward with it, because you don't want to weigh everything. That's a pain in the ass.
No, but here's what does happen when you're eating healthy, and this is where addictions, good addictions, bad addictions, is I will eat the same thing every day, all day for weeks.
I'm boring, just like you, just like so boring with my food choices.
Yeah, and I mean, there are things that we know it's good for us, but you got to live a little too. So I think when it starts really making a difference in your life, and you can't enjoy life because you're too busy saying, "Well, no, I need to eat." Like I drink a ridiculous amount of water all day long. Like if I had an addiction, my actual addiction is this sucker doesn't leave my side at all. And I'll drink like a dozen of these easy in a day.
Yeah.
Easy.
Ooh, I've got to bring something for you to try. Okay. Protein. Okay. I have a new protein drink for you to try. Okay. It is a sparkling protein drink. Okay.
What?
It is like a Sprite. Is a canned Sprite. In it. It's got 40 grams of protein in it.
Okay, now I'm listening.
It goes down like a Sprite, man.
How do you do that? How do you make it?
I don't know. It's not creamy. It's not chewy.
Is it a whey protein?
It's a whey protein. It's in a can.
Okay, how do you take milk juice? Like, how do you take cow juice, which is white?
Yeah.
And make it clear?
I don't know. Science.
Science.
That's it. But I did a video on it when we tried it, when we first got them, and we cracked it open and we poured it into glasses, and it's like it's bubbly, like a bubbly, right?
Get the hell out of here.
And I was like, this is gonna be gross, I think. So we tasted it, and it was like, oh my god, like this is like lemon lime, like Sprite. It's the craziest thing. So you crack it open, you drink, it's 40 grams of protein in this.
Get the hell out of here. I want that, because Pebbles is asking, what is it?
Pebbles we'll do a tasting. I'll bring one over to you like this week or so that you can try it, because it's the craziest thing ever, man.
I want that, because it seems like a summer way. Because tell you what, protein powder gets a little thick, and
it gets a little bit tired.
It's a little tired.
There's a new one. Those 4-hour energy drinks?
Yep.
There's one of those coming out that's got like 20 or 30 grams of protein in like a 2-ounce shot.
I usually take 6 of those at a time.
Yeah, you'd be done, right?
I'm good for the weekend.
Right? It'd be easy. But yeah, these are pretty cool. I'll say that. It was interesting.
I gotta try it. I'll try it 100%. I'll buy that. Try it.
I'll bring it over for you.
Do it.
I gotta get a trim, because my beer is apparently getting out of control.
It's getting a little raggedy.
Yeah.
So again, the addiction of exercise. This is where you cross the line. So I've done the bodybuilding thing. I've done the powerlifter thing, like the strongman stuff. Yep. It's when you can never be big enough, and you end up with body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
As a bodybuilder, because you're never big enough. Your arms are never big enough. Your legs are never big enough.
You know what they call that?
What?
Bigorexia.
Is that a thing?
Bigorexia. Yeah. It's not clinical, but that's kind of the term they give it.
Yeah. So anorexia is when you're never thin enough, and bigorexia is when you're not big enough. And I have met so many people that they hit a wall and they just don't stop, and they're not getting any bigger, or they're getting huge. And dude, like you're in trouble. Like you're pinning yourself like crazy. Like this has got to stop. But
the problem is that people don't get a lot of self-validation and things. So like there's been times like I'm at the gym working out, and I'm like, man, like I'm just don't feel big enough, right? Don't feel like I have enough muscle.
Right.
Meanwhile, the guy next to me is just like, holy shit, dude, like what's your workout? I'm like, it's nothing special. Why? They're like, you got big arms. I'm like, these little things?
Right? Do I do the gym every day? Yes. I go to the gym. I wake up at 4 and I go to the gym every single day, unless I'm not in town. I do not miss. I don't miss the gym, because if I miss the gym, I seriously feel like it's like not having your coffee in the morning. I have to go. Yeah. So if I sleep in, like even the kids know that if I sleep in on a Sunday, that I'm mad at myself.
Going to be grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem that I kind of got into since April, when all the family stuff started happening. Is like I hadn't been to the gym very consistently at all.
Right.
And like I had the big goal to break 200 pounds this quarter, and I was like 1.5 pounds short of it, which irritated the heck out of me.
You want to get below 200 pounds or above 200 pounds?
Above. So I was trying to get above 200 pounds. And then I was going to start leaning out starting April 1st. So I got started, and then all the stuff started going on in April, and I have not been consistent. Well, as a result, haven't had the results that I wanted.
And stress will do that, because where your mind goes, your body will follow, right? So if you're down, so is your body. And I think that everything comes down to your mindset, right? Like if you feel like it's a problem, then it's a problem. However, if you have a problem that you're not seeing could be a problem, that's also a problem.
Well, it's like, like it's an age-old question, how do you find happiness, right? Like, what is happiness? It's like, well, you just be happy.
It's that easy, is it?
It's because you're not talking about clinical depression or things. When people say, well, I'm depressed, well, can't you just not be depressed? It's like, well, that's different. That's a clinical thing. Happiness is you make the choice to be happy.
You can be sad. I mean, there's nothing weird about being sad. People get sad. No. And if just because you're sad doesn't mean you're depressed.
Right.
And I think that you can get past a lot of things, because it's situational depression is sadness, I think. Like if you're sad because of this, it's because of this. If you never get out from underneath that cloud, then that's a different story.
It is.
And then you got to look at it.
It's definitely worse right now with this COVID world, the post-COVID world. Because
are we still in that?
The number of clients that I've had, that I ask them, what do you do for exercise? And they go, well, I used to be really good at things. And then, COVID came around. And I tell them, well, that was 5 years ago. And they just kind of go, oh, you're right. I don't really have a good excuse, do I?
No, that'd be like me saying that I ripped my bicep off, so I don't work out now. And that was 7 years ago?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, these things, these setbacks you get, you fall off the wagon, you know,
We do.
and the big, like, nobody's going to judge you about that. They're just going to wonder when you're going to get back on and what took you so long, right?
Yeah. But I think that I think finding a healthy addiction, I think is what people need to do. Because we're
To an
full of
extent, yeah,
unhealthy
for sure.
ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so much easier to find something that's going to be detrimental. Smoking and stuff. Like that doesn't help anybody.
Smoking, drinking, fast food, all these things.
Yeah.
So we can find something that's, if you put one healthy habit into an unhealthy lifestyle and turn that into your new addiction,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised what happens. Like even
There's
if all you did was give up one thing that was bad.
There's that book, Atomic Habits, right? You've
Right.
read that one, I think, right?
Yes. Yes. And
it should be a staple for everyone to read.
there's a lot of staples that should be make it a routine. Absolutely. It becomes a routine and it becomes normal. It's not a chore if it's a routine. But you're right. If you develop a habit that is, if you can start an unhealthy addiction, you can also start a healthy one.
Yes.
And you just inject that into your life. Like I think that I gave up chips and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I found other things that I like. And now I have no desire to have the junk. Although once in a while, I'll tell you what, last weekend I ate a lot of chips and I shouldn't have.
Sometimes you got to crush them.
I crushed them and I felt like just sodium. Like I just felt fat and bloaty for a couple of days.
Well, that's, and on one hand, it's also wonderful, isn't it? Because you're at the time, you're like, this was worth it. And the next day you're like, oh,
I'll tell you what,
good.
I would love to go and beat the hell out of a peanut butter parfait right now. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's been so long, but I can't. I can't do
Not
it.
yet.
Not
Use
yet.
it as a celebration or something, perhaps, right?
This all comes to fruition. We'll go for peanut butter parfaits.
Yep. And whiskey.
And whiskey.
Or something.
Mix them
right?
together. No, I think that to sort of get things rolling and let this be. Yeah, exactly. I think the reality is we can have healthy addictions. We can have bad addictions. You want to go get one. Go get yourself a peanut butter.
Not judging.
Eat
not
it for
judging.
me. I want one too. Like I'd like to see
Have
someone
two.
else.
Take have one for each of us too.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
But no, I think that what we consider to be, some people look at somebody and say, why are you at the gym all the time? Somebody we see, even new addictions, I'd be like content creators. There's one that they can't stop banging out videos. Like if I got nothing to say, I don't make a video. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll take a drought for like 3 weeks and then I'll do a bunch of TikToks.
That is a dangerous addiction when it comes to how many likes can I get. It used to be that if you were rich, you were also famous. But nowadays you can pick and choose. You can be rich or you can be famous.
Right. I've made zero money off of social media. But here's the thing. I did get into that. I hooked into it where every day I had to make sure I put a new one out every day. And you just kept on going and you get rolling and suddenly your creative juices are flowing and you're going and going and going. Now, why is that? When I get into a writer's block, there's nothing. Because I'm not searching for it anymore. I do them when I have fun with it. And that's I think is the healthiest way to do it.
And it's also one of the things that most creatives will say, like if you're in that, there's no such thing as a writer's block. You just need to keep going and you need just to keep writing or whatever it is, keep creating. Because you're going to make some garbage stuff. Like look how many things that Stephen King has put out that isn't particularly good.
Absolutely.
He doesn't remember half of the Dark Tower series.
Really?
Yeah, he was too high on cocaine and alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't remember writing a bunch of the books.
He seems like a totally straight edge guy.
Yeah.
No, I guess not.
No, not even a little bit. So.
No, I think that to sum this up, because I talk about ice cream, because you got to go meet them at the ice cream store. I think, guys, if you have something that's doing something good for you, then knock it out and keep going. If you have bad habits, I mean, you know what you're doing. And if someone thinks that what you're doing is insane, to them it might be.
They're probably right. It is insane for them to do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. The number of times when I've done like different exercise or like do some weird stretches or whatever it is, and people will come up and be like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm doing this," and they go like, "Well, that's weird," and they walk away. And it's like, hold on. They didn't think it's weird. They were genuinely curious and they were embarrassed that they had to ask.
Yep. Yeah, when I don't know how to do something, well, it's been a long time since I didn't know what to do at the gym, but if I see a move that I was not aware was a thing, I
Yep.
really want to know how they're doing it. Like I'm working on my grip strength right now. So I'm
Yeah.
taking like 35-pound plates and just holding them, like pinching them, and
Lifting
just,
them up.
and that is a bastard of a forearm workout.
Yep.
And it looks stupid at the gym, but no one else is doing it.
Yeah, you're just standing there holding these things, and you got looking pain on your face.
Yeah, and now I'm doing the sledgehammer where you start at the head of it
Oh
and
yeah.
you slide down and it's one hand, you just got to lift it up. I can't get to the bottom, not yet, but I will.
What? What do you mean? What? Like holding it two hands and just
One hand sledgehammer,
right, and
and
then
what you
using your fingers and wiggling down,
no,
basically.
you're trying to do this, pick it up.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay.
but you got to start by the head of it and then pick it up. Then you slide down, pick it up. Now, wherever you get to the point where you can do it, and the next level you can't, you mark it there. Now you're
Okay.
starting at that point, and you just try, and it just like it's all this,
Yeah.
like
It'd be awful.
it's horrible. But I really want to get my grip strength down for reasons.
That's fair.
Grip strength is very important in some lines of life.
You know, they say there's actually a correlation between grip strength and mortality. The better your grip strength, the longer you'll live.
Oh, maybe that'll help.
So, I mean, there's that. That's kind of a nice thing, right?
My grandmother, she could open any jar in the house, and she died at 88, and she was
Yep.
healthy until she went.
I mean, what a good way to go, right?
Right?
Open
Not
a
opening
jar
a
of
jar.
pickles.
No. She died because she was just old. But she could, until she was in her late 80s, she could bust open any jar of pickles that was sitting in the cabinet for years.
That's perfect.
It
That's
is
crazy.
okay. Tell you
I
what,
gotta
guys.
run.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get ice cream.
let's get Jay out to go get ice cream. Everybody enjoy the heat and have a great weekend. I know we're cutting it short today, but hey, if it's weird to somebody, but it's not to you, keep it up as long as it's not hurting you.
Absolutely. Have fun while you're doing it too.
Absolutely. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Have a great
Have a good
weekend.
weekend.
Enjoy the heat. Bye-bye.